Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today we will first study about GST, that is Goods and Service Tax, because we have to use this in the transactions when we are doing the journal. So we have already done 3 simple problems. So first, before we go on to the problem, we will start with this. Now, GST is Goods and Service Tax. Now, most of the states used to levy different types of taxes, such as excise duty, customs duty, central sales tax, service tax. So every state had different taxes. So to get them all under one, the government on 1st July 2017 started this tax. So it is one tax, one nation, one market. Okay, so this is the meaning of it. So all states have the same amount of GST everywhere in the country. So how do we calculate GST? It is on trading activities, that is purchase and sale of goods and assets. So I'll start with simple calculation so that you understand, and then we can use it in the journal entry. So you can write down the first calculation. Purchased a motor car from Tata and Company worth rupees 2 lakhs at 18% GST. Find out the GST amount and net value of motor car. Okay, first we will take cost of the motor car. So cost of motor car is 2 lakhs. GST is 18%. It is given in the question. So now we will calculate that amount of GST is equal to 2 lakhs into 18%, 18 upon 100, that is equal to 36,000. So we have got the amount of GST. Now this GST is included in the net value of the asset. Motor car is an asset. So how will you get? Right, net value of motor car is equal to 2 lakhs plus 36,000, that is cost plus GST. So that amounts to 2,36,000. So first you will find out the amount of GST added to the cost of the asset, and then you will get the net value. Now remember that always this GST has to be divided into central and state. So it is called CGST and SGST. So for purchases, it is called as input GST, and for sales, it is output GST. We will take one more example. Paid transport charges, rupees 10,000 at 5% GST. Calculate CGST and SGST. So now here we have to show the breakup of the calculations of CGST and SGST. So how will you first find GST? It is transport charges 10,000 into 5%. GST is 5%. The amount of GST 10,000 into 5 upon 100. So that is equal to 500. Now always CGST and SGST is half. So whatever amount you get, that 500 you will divide by 2. Okay. So CGST is equal to SGST is equal to 500 upon 2. So that amounts to 250. So you can write net transport charges equal to 10,000 plus 250 plus 250. Only because they have asked the breakup. So that you have to show CGST, SGST. So it is 10,500. So we need to do this calculations in the journal entries, because the next problem I am doing, we will find 1 or 2 transactions with GST. So we have to use this type of calculation, find out, and then give the debit and credit effect. So we now go on to the journal problem. Now today I'm going to do an illustration on page 66, illustration number 3. I've taken an illustration, though it is a big problem. We will do all the types of journal entries here one by one. So you need to first draw the journal, because we will straight away take with the transactions. So write down in the books of Rajkumar, grocery seller. In the books of Rajkumar, grocery seller. Journal. Draw the format. You need to draw it for 2 pages, because there are a number of transactions here. So when you are solving, please draw for 2 pages and then you can start. Now in the journal, I had told you always in the date column, first you will write the year. Now this is 2019 and the transactions are given for the month of April. So April and then the first. Now I will first read the transaction, understand, and then we will write the journal entry. Now first transaction says Rajkumar started business with cash 2 lakhs, building 2 lakhs, and borrowed a loan from Rakesh 50,000. Now here we have done with cash. Now building is also an asset. So we have cash account, we have building account, and we have a loan. Okay, and you know loan is a liability, but this loan comes in the form of cash. So your cash will increase here. Okay, so how will you write? It is debit what comes in and credit the liabilities. So here you will write cash account debit. Now cash account debit, here it is given 2 lakhs, but they have borrowed a loan from Rakesh. So that is 50,000, which you have to add it in the amount. So 2 lakhs plus 50,000. So cash amount is 2,50,000. Then building account debit. Building is an asset, real account. Debit what comes in. Building account debit 2 lakhs. To capital account. Business is started, so capital has to be there. Now capital is only 2 lakhs. Okay, so to capital account 2 lakhs and the remaining 50,000 is a loan taken. So that is also a liability to Rakesh's loan account. 50,000. Right narration. 4 to capital is 4 lakhs, children, because it's 2 lakh 50 plus 2 lakhs, so it's 4 lakhs, and 50,000 is the loan. Right narration. Being business started with cash, building, and loan from Rakesh. Okay. Please be neat in writing. Leave a line after every journal entry that you finish. So now the next transaction is on the 4th. Deposited cash into Dena Bank, rupees 50,000. Now two accounts here you are depositing, so cash and which bank? Dena Bank, name is given. So bank here is personal account, cash is real. So here personal debit the receiver, so bank will be debited, cash goes out, so cash will be credited. So write the journal entry, Dena Bank account debit 50,000 to cash account 50,000, being narration, being cash deposited into bank. Okay. Next one, purchased computer. This is on the 7th. Purchased computer from Brijesh of rupees 30,000 at 18% GST and paid by check. Now we have to find out what are we purchasing. Computer. Computer is an asset. So computer comes into business. It's real account. So debit what comes in. And if you see the last, it is paid by check. So it is bank. Bank is the giver. So we know what we have to debit and credit, but we have to find the amounts. Now there is GST. Okay, so children, you can first write the entry and then I'll show you the calculations. So write computer account debit. We'll fill in the amounts later. Input GST account, you're purchasing, so input CGST account debit. Input SGST account debit. To Dena Bank account. Now you will do the working. Cost of the computer is 30,000 and there is 18% is GST, so you can 18%, so 18% of 30,000 is 5,400. Okay, now this 5,400 has to be split into CGST and SGST. It's always half, so it is 9% and 9%. So half of 5,400, 2,700 each. So when we are writing there in the entry, it is the net value of the computer. So it's 30,000 plus 5,400 there. So write computer account debit 30,000, input CGST 2,700, input SGST 2,700, to Dena Bank account 35,400. Narration. being computer purchased at 18% GST and paid by check. The narration to be written from the transaction itself. Next is 10th, cash sales. Now, cash sales, two accounts involved. One is cash account, the other is sales. Cash, when you're selling goods, cash comes in. So, debit what comes in? Sales. It is nominal account, credit incomes and gains. So, write entry, cash account debit 90,000 to sales account 90,000. Narration being cash sales. Twelfth, goods sold on credit to Ganesh rupees 10,000 at 5% trade discount. Now here goods are sold to Ganesh on credit. So that means one account is a personal account, the other is sales because you are selling. Now here we are doing trade discount. Now trade discount is always calculated but never shown in the books of accounts. So you will have to calculate. So we can first write the entry below that and show you the calculations. So two accounts involved here is Ganesh's account and sales account. Ganesh is the receiver because you're selling goods to him. So debit the receiver. Ganesh's account debit and to sales account. Now 10,000 worth goods are being sold. So 10,000 into 5%. So that is 500. So you will deduct this 500 trade discount and then write the amount. So it will be 9,500. Trade discount, calculate and deduct the amount of trade discount and then write. Narration being goods sold on credit at 5% trade discount. Fifteenth, Ganesh returned goods of 950. Okay, now you had sold goods to Ganesh, now he's returning. So when he returns, the goods are coming in. So you have to use the term return inward. Okay, and who is returning? Ganesh. So Ganesh is the giver. So write the entry return inward account debit. $950 to Ganesh's account 950 being goods returned by Ganesh. Eighteenth, goods taken by Rajkumar for his personal use, rupees 1,000. You know, I have told you when you see or hear the word personal use, that means you have to use the term drawings. So here one account is drawings, and what is he withdrawing? He's withdrawing goods. Drawings, the businessman or proprietor is the receiver, so debit drawings account. And then you have to write goods are withdrawn by proprietor. I've given you some 11 entries regarding goods. So one of them is this. So write the 18th journal entry, drawings account debit 1,000 to Goods withdrawn by proprietor account. All the words have to come. If it does not fit, use the next line. Two goods withdrawn by proprietor account 1000. Narration. Being goods withdrawn for personal use. Okay, next one, 20th. Paid telephone charges rupees 500 and taxi fare rupees 200. Now paid, okay, and telephone charges and taxi fare. Telephone charges are expenses. Taxi fare is used for conveyance to travel. So you will use the word conveyance here. So both are expenses, both are nominal accounts. So the rule for nominal accounts says debit expenses and losses, and they're being paid. So cash goes out, credit what goes out. So write the 20th entry. Telephone charges account debit 500. Conveyance account debit 200. To cash account, if to take the total, that is 700. Narration. Being telephone charges and taxi fare paid. Okay. 22nd. Paid transport charges rupees 5,000 at 5% GST. Now we have done this in the calculation with the different amount. Okay, when I was explaining to you GST, we have done the same transaction with a different amount. But how do we write? Paid transport charges. Transport charges again is an expense, nominal account. So you will debit the transport charges. So here we will write the entry first. Write transport charges account debit. Again, you are paying this with GST. So it is input CGST account, debit, input SGST account, debit, to cash account. Because you're paying, it's a nominal account, you're paying, so to cash account, cash goes out. Now, calculation, transport charges were 5,000. You can write in short, explain there, 5,000. Now, how much is GST? It's 5%. So, into 5%. So, that amounts to 250. So, now this 250 has to be split into CGST and SGST. So, it will become 125 each. So you have to add it in the transport charges and the total has to be paid. So when you write the figures now, transport charges account debit 5,000. Input CGST 125. Input SGST 125. To cash account, the total 5,250. Okay. So narration. Being transport charges including 5% GST paid. Including 5% GST paid. Only remember that you have to always split the GST amount into central and state. It's always half. So just divide that. Okay, next one, 24th. Paid audit fees 5,000 by check. Now, audit fees We have done this. Audit fees is an expense. It is nominal account. So debit expenses and losses, and you are paying now by check. So bank is there. Bank is the giver, personal account. So the entry here will be audit fees account debit. 5,000 to bank account 5,000 being audit fees paid. Okay, next transaction, purchased furniture of rupees 70,000 and amount paid by check at 12% CGST. Now, this is 26th transaction. So again, you are purchasing furniture, asset is coming into the business, real account, debit what comes in. So furniture comes in and you are paying by check. So instead of cash, you will write bank. So we have done similar transaction with the computer. So now how do we write? You're purchasing furniture account debit, input CGST account debit. Always write the entry, then do the calculations and fill in the amounts. Input SGST account debit to bank account. Okay, now we will just write the figures. Now it is 70,000. Okay, cost of furniture is 70,000 and it is 12% GST. So 12, find out 12% of 70,000. So that is 8,400. Now this 8,400 will be split into two CGST and SGST. So half of that, that is 4,200, 4,200. Now how do you write the entry? Furniture account debit 70,000, the cost of the furniture. Input CGST account debit 4,200. Input SGST account debit 4,200. To bank account 78,400. You can take the total of those three. It was 78,400. So you will write the narration being furniture purchased at 12% GST. Next transaction. Now this transaction is on 28th. Sold motor car worth rupees 1 lakh at 18% GST and sold sales proceed credited to our account. Okay. So to our account means it is bank account. Now you are selling here. Okay, we have done transactions of purchase. Now you're selling with GST. So you're selling a motor car and of 1 lakh at 18% GST and sale proceeds credited to bank. So bank is the receiver and the motor car is going out. So you write the entry first, write bank account debit to motor car account Now this is GST is there, but it is going out. So to output CGST account, to output SGST account. So remember that for purchases you write input and for sales you will write output. Now we will do the calculation how much we are going to receive. So here 1 lakh is the cost of the motor car which you are selling and the GST is 18%. So 18% of 1 lakh is 18,000. So this 18,000 you will split into CGST, SGST. So that is 9,000 each. So see how you write. Write the motor car. First write to motor car account 1 lakh in the credit column. to output CGST 9,000, output SGST 9,000. So what is the amount that you will receive? It is 1,18,000. Take the total of the credit and write it in the debit. So you have to receive, or you're going to receive, 1,18,000. Narration: being motor car sold at 18% GST. And now the last one is on 30th. Paid cash to Kavita, rupees 15,500, who allowed us discount rupees 500. Now we are paying cash to Kavita. She is the receiver. She has to receive the amount and cash goes out for us. But here there is discount. She's giving us a discount. So now how will you write the entry? Okay, so write 30th. You will write Kavita's account debit. She is the receiver. Okay, we are paying to her. We'll write the figures. So first write the entry. Kavita's account debit. Okay, because she is the receiver, debit the receiver according to the rule. To cash account. Cash is going out. To cash account, and to discount received account. Now children, discount is a nominal account. You are receiving discount. So discount here is, the rule says credit incomes and gains. Therefore, we are crediting discount account. Okay, how much cash is being paid to Kavita? If you see there in the question, it is 15,500. So to cash account, 15 in the credit column, 15,500. And they said, who allowed us discount of 500. So discount received is 500. So how much had Kavita to receive? The total, that is 16,000. So first write the entry and then you can fill in the figures. So we have got the amounts. So narration: being paid to Kavita and discount received. We have finished with all the journal entries. So the last step is to total the journal. So you will write total and draw the line and double underline the totals. So you know how to do the totaling. You will take all the amounts in the debit column and then the credit column, and your journal has to tally because you're always writing almost the same amounts. So here now the total is 8,60,200. Write in both the columns, 8,60,200. Okay. So children, we have finished with the problem. I want you to solve this very neatly in your notebooks. I hope all your notebook is complete with the 3 journal problems and now with today's problem. Okay. I will be giving you homework. So I will send you a problem so that you can solve it. So first take this down, understand it. If you have any difficulties, you can message me. Okay, thank you children and have a nice day.